It's wonderful to see you. If only because the last time I saw you, you had been horribly massacred by Colin Hanks. So it's a relief to see you in one piece.
I'm still alive.
Wonderful film.
Thanks.
You've had such a great career.
Thanks.
Not to refer to it in past tense because it's so thriving. But I love the fact that you're doing this show because for the first time in a long time, you're not in period costume. You're not like splayed out like Christmas turkey.
Yeah.
This is like a nice contemporary woman.
Yeah.
With a really interesting backstory.
Yeah.
Was that part of the attraction? Is it just sort of?
Yeah. I mean, I have always had I don't know. The right thing comes at the right time. That's just the way it's been for me. And it's not like I've had a great plan all along of like, and now I'm going to do a legal drama or something. But there were a few sort of considerations, and one is that I wanted to try something that is entertaining, you know, like entertaining and thrilling, and I liked the thriller aspect of it, and I liked the potential of making sort of exciting, entertaining television.
Is it important to you to keep changing up? I mean, you know, although I refer to that bulk of work as period stuff, I mean, it ranges from Deadwood to Swingtown, which I loved. I wish that show had a better shot.
Yeah, I know.
That was a great show.
It was good. It was gonna get even
well,
better.
and your character was just on the cusp of getting really interesting.
That whole show for me was really about like the swinging stuff. I was like, yeah. But then it was about these women.
Yeah.
It was about liberation. I mean, for the kind of post. Anyway, don't get me started. I loved it, and whatever.
Many of the critics loved it too.
Yeah.
It's one of those. But again, that's a vast range
Yeah.
of work there. But again, this is again something different. Is that important to you to keep changing it up? Does that keep you sort of?
Well, it keeps me interested, and also, and you know, I want to do like I've done a lot of work in my career that I have loved, and I've done a lot of work that no one's ever seen. Including a couple pilots I did in the last year that no one's ever seen that were great, like really, really good, and I wanted to do something and be a part of something like this. So it came along when the firm was offered to me. They had already cast the other three actors, Callum, Keith Rennie, and Josh Lucas and Juliette Lewis, and I was like,
I mean, it's such a great cast.
That we could kick ass.
It's such a great cast, and you've known Callum for years.
I've known Callum for 20 years. Yeah. We're great friends.
And Juliette's got to be fun to work with.
Juliette is magical. Yeah. Truly, she is. She is. I mean, I've always admired her, and we were in different worlds, and I was doing a lot more indie stuff than she was. But of our generation, I mean, I always thought she was one of the strongest, most interesting actresses around. And so I was excited to get the opportunity to work with her. And she's cool, and she's rock and roll, and she like brings all this, but she's really smart, and she has this intuitive intelligence that is, like, she's magical to work with. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing because I just am watching her because she's so fascinating. People are going to love her on the show.
I'm very excited to meet you.
Thanks.
Because I'm a huge fan of your work, and as much as it's possible to judge an actor by the work that they do, as much as it's possible for an actor to choose the work that they do, I love your choice.
Thank you.
In the work that you do. It's the characters are never anything less than fascinating and very multi-layered.
Oh, that's nice.
And quirky and never anything less than interesting. So what is it about a role, any role that sort of draws you to?
Yeah, I'm always looking, first of all, for something I've not played before. So even though people may say I put my own spin on it, you won't find that I've played the same character twice.
No.
You know what I mean? And when I first came onto the scene, I was quite young, and the pickings were slim. So it was like either you're going to be a daughter, like a prototype of an American daughter, or somebody's girlfriend, a love interest. So I wanted to play anything in between that, anything that wasn't that. And so I've always looked for complexity in people that are contradictory in nature, because that's what human beings are. And for better or for worse, when I look back on my career, I've sort of given a voice to people that don't really have a voice, the disenfranchised, the weirdo, the outcast, the you know, the low class. These are elements I don't know I'm attracted to, I'm drawn to. It's not that I can't be something one-dimensional or the love interest or the desirable or somebody's wife or something. It's just not what's appealing. So now here you find me in series television. This is as mainstream as it gets for me.
Yeah, because you really haven't done TV since like the 90s, the early 90s.
Yeah, 1989 to be exact.
What was it? What did you do in '89?
I did A Family for Joe and I Married Dora. Now you're all gonna go YouTube it. It's obscene. Sitcom television.
Yeah. Well, which again, knowing your work since then, it just doesn't seem you, but you're starting out. You were starting.
It's how I cut my teeth.
Yeah.
What's brilliant about it is it's what made me know what the wardrobe person does, what makeup, what the director, the writer, you know, all the elements.
The learning curve,
Yeah, all these things. And then it was from there I went on to work with Scorsese, and that was my huge break.
Yeah.
But this series is amazing because, you know, I've been on the road. I've been making music for the past 8 years, and I took 5 years off from acting. And I did everything a young band would do, and that was search the globe for an audience that would stick it out with me in the rock and roll arena. And so that's what I've been doing, and it's a great love of my life, and I miss it. And so I took this series because it was a perfect fit, material-wise. It's from John Grisham, the book The Firm. Yeah.
She's a great character.
Yeah, it's a great character.
She's a great character.
Holly Hunter was in the film. I mean, you could call her a distant cousin to me in the acting tree.
Yes, you could.
I love her.
And she chooses the same kind of role.
Well, I think
maybe not so much.
Or they choose us. I don't know. You make it your own.
Yeah.
Anything, you know, I've been given stuff that's very one-dimensional, but if I'm lucky enough to work with a good director, I can create something deeper, you know, whatever. But so this is interesting. What drew me to the piece was the cast, the material, the series, the unknown. You know, that each episode, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know the scripts. We only got the pilot, and it was suspenseful.
But it's a great cast.
I'm in love with my cast.
Wonderful cast.
I'm in love with them, and you know, I don't know if all casts are like this. Probably not, but we get along so well. There's no ego. There's no. You know, I can't imagine if Josh Lucas was a prick, because he certainly isn't.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is?
He's gracious and professional.
It's
and
a
amazing.
cast of actors.
Yeah.
Like in the true sense of the word. The cast on this show is phenomenal. I mean, you've got some amazing people to work with. I was talking to Molly about. I love the fact that these characters. I mean, their backstory is so interesting, and I think that's part of what informs the current storyline, where they've gone to. But the fact that in most shows, this would be played as, well, there's cracks in the marriage now because they've been on the run for so long and the kids got problems and, you know, they're all stressed out. But that isolation that this family has undergone these last 10 years have just brought them together. And it's so great to see just the genuine love and support in this family unit, because that's not the way it would be played in most shows.
I think there's integrity to that. I also think that's John Grisham, in the sense that John Grisham's characters, you know, even if they're broken and damaged and have serious problems, there's always a really hardcore core to the family unit, and that the family unit is that the men or the women in the situation are doing it to protect that family core. Look, for me on a personal level, you know, my parents were hardcore anti-nuclear activists. We moved all over the country. And we were never on the run. We were never in a situation, but we did have a black car, CIA or FBI outside of our door oftentimes. We did know that we were being watched to an extent. And like this story, my family was incredibly close because we didn't necessarily trust much that was happening outside of us. And I always felt like there's integrity to this show, where it's because they only have each other. They have to rely on each other. They have to love each other. And luckily we got a cast of people that we do as a cast, which has also been just pure luck. I mean, just pure, like, thank God.